friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa String Works Workshop. Welcome to another edition of, hey, let's all see if we can stump Jerry. Yeah, well, let me see here. I don't think that'd be that hard, but you guys keep trying, that's for sure. Now this customer, if we were judging this like an Olympic event and, maybe holding up scorecards from, 1 to 10, he scores a lot of 10s. Let's see here. Let's see. On style, I'd give him a 10. Creativity, 10. Difficulty of task, 10. Vagueness of direction, 10. This guy's, he's better than Nadia Comaneci or whatever her name was. Oh my gosh, he gets the 10s. Now why does he get all these 10s? Well, look what he sent me. Holy mackerel. Yeah, it's one of those. And if you know what those are, well then you're better than me, because I have no clue. My goodness. Well, for style and decoration, I'd give this guitar a 10. It's a beautiful, beautiful, well-made instrument. I mean, it's really well-made. I mean, it really is. It's sturdily built. You can imagine with a 12-string on one side and a 6-string on the other, and it's all acoustic. There's no electronics in this. Right there ought to tell you something. This thing is built like a brick outhouse. I won't say the other word, but a brick outhouse. Yeah, it is. It's built that sturdy. It's unbelievable. It's tuned up to pitch. I wanted to tune it up to pitch to see just what I was dealing with to start off with. And there's very little hump here. I mean, there's a little bit, but gee whiz. I mean, on almost any guitar, you'll see a little bit. It's heavy. The necks, of course, make it crazy heavy. Especially that 12, peg head there, that 12 string is just crazy heavy. So it balances right here pretty good. So it's pretty darn heavy. It's made with some very nice wood on the top. The spruce is really awesome. What kind of guitar is it? What brand? Let me try to read that to you here. I can't pronounce this. Antoniotius. That's how I'd say it. It's spelled Antoniotiais. Thais, I guess. Antonio Thais. I don't know. I'm not good with anything like that. Here's his expectations. He says they may be a bit vague. Remember, I gave you a 10 for that. For that. But here they are. It seemed very difficult to get proper tuning on the guitars, and they both need to be able to be tuned together. The 12 obviously needs to be tuned a bit softer so as not to break anything. Still, they just didn't tune well. If the tuners need to be upgraded, I'm totally okay with that. I would love the plastic parts to be replaced with bone. I can do that. I don't think the neck, frets, bridge, or any part of the guitar were ever fine-tuned, so please check that. I've already got a comment on that. If the back or the front needs to be removed and the braces, front or back, need to be thinned, I'm good with that. I wonder if you could find some way to increase the volume. Can you say pickup? That's pretty much what I'm thinking. It is almost silent when played. I would even consider pickups, but the huge sound hole, I'm at a loss. Finally, I am so disgusted with the luthier from China. Please make this instrument right. Put your logo on it and a rose inlay somewhere on it. I don't think that's going to happen. Anything else falls under the topic, what do you think it needs? Contact me at such and so. I didn't expect anything when I bought it because I only paid $100 for it. $100? Gee whiz, the strings would cost you that much here in the U.S. And another 100 import tax in China, where I lived at the time. It was built in Vietnam. It wasn't supposed to be, but it was. He said I could give out his name and everything. I just tell you, his first name is Solomon. Well, Solomon, honestly, you sent me a challenge. Now this is a challenge. With your note, especially, as far as what you're looking for. You know, setting it up, that's one thing. I can do that. That's not that big an issue. But there are some other issues. Apparently, the customer, I talked to him on the phone, and he's good. He doesn't care about the money exactly. That, you know, whatever it costs, if it, you know, he said he doesn't care if it costs $2,000. Well, you know me, I'm pretty conservative. I'm not going to just take the guy's money just because he's given me an open checkbook. But he definitely wants it to be better. Now, how do you make something better? You know, I mean, it is what it is. The guy built it the way he built it for a reason. I don't think I'm going to go in there and just start carving away braces, especially with the kind of stress this thing's got on it. That would just be, I think, a silly thing to do. It's holding as it is, so why would I want to go change all that? Now, granted, if I really thought he did overkill on it, but I don't think he did overkill. We'll take a look inside of it. I've already looked inside a little bit, but when I get the strings off of it, we'll take a look inside of it, and I'll show you what I mean, because I don't think he overkilled it at all. I mean, I think he built it just about the way it ought to be built. It's not really a handmade guitar, at least not in my opinion, because when I look on the inside, all of the bracing and all of the kerfing and all of the parts look to be highly machined to me. They look like they were made on maybe a CNC machine or just some, you know, I mean, it could just be hand done on a machine, but it's whoever did it. It wasn't a one-off. They were planning on making a bunch of these because you can tell the parts are made exactly to a certain specific size just because of the way it's machined. All of this inlay, oh my gosh, you know, the inlay for me is really where the money comes in. If you wanted me to do this kind of custom inlay, golly guys, I don't think I'd touch it for less than $5,000 just for the inlay. No, I'm not kidding you. I know that sounds crazy, but I know how much work this inlay is. Just people that just take for granted this body inlay, but every little tiny piece of that, and there is a bunch, well, I'm assuming that it's real abalone, and it does look like it is. And it does look like it's in little pieces. Every single little piece has to be fitted to that spot. You can't just butt a bunch of square ends together and expect them to go around a curve. That doesn't work. They leave gaps like that. So every piece has to be fitted. So just the body inlay takes forever. And I've done it. I know how long it takes. I did it on my own guitar, that one I built for my brother. I did it all the way around. And I did it on other guitars too. I've done this exact kind of work. Now, have I done this kind of detail on the neck? Nah, I haven't really. I gotta be honest. I do vines on my own instruments, my mandolins and stuff, but this is a pretty intricate vine, and there's two of them. Just all of the inlay. Maybe 5,000 is a little high, but it'd be in the thousands. You know, 2,000 or 3,000 for sure. Just for the inlay. So, how am I going to make this better? Well, I don't know. There are a couple of definite issues that I can make better. There's no question. There's a few things. I tuned it up to pitch so I would see what the issues are. The first issue is that the setup on the 6-string neck up here is just crap. It's all they're right down on the first fret. You can't hardly play it without getting buzzing. So that's just crap. So it needs a new nut up here and a new saddle here on the 6-string part, and that'll take care of that. No problem. The 12th string, surprisingly, is pretty good. I don't really see an issue with it. I mean, we can replace the saddle here, but I'm not going to replace that nut on that 12th string if I don't have to. And it doesn't have to be replaced. I mean, that would, right there is 4 or 5 hours worth of work right there, just to get that right. Because it's so much harder on a 12th string than it is on a 6th string. And you know, the work right here, you know, it's not that bad. It's an hour's worth of work here, you know, down here on both of those two. Together, those are, combined, that's about an hour's worth of work. Maybe a little bit more than that to really get the action right and everything. But anyway, so those are the easy things that I could do. Now it starts to get a little harder when you look at the back. There is a significant crack down the back right through here. I think you can see it all the way down, and it goes pretty far. So there's a pretty significant crack there. It's opened up, and there's braces across it, so it's not going to close. You know, you can try all day long, you're not going to close that crack. The reason that crack opened up, and according to the customer, and I don't know if the customer knows for sure, but anyway, he said he made it with green wood. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I think it would be a combination of possibly the green wood, not completely dry. Also, keep in mind that it was probably produced in a very high humidity place, and if it was in the Philippines or wherever it was made, you know, then you're moving it to maybe a drier place here in the States, you know, and that could also cause it to shrink, and which, you know, it's got to shrink somewhere, and so if it shrank right here, you know, it would open up. As it's shrinking, you know, this direction and that direction, it would crack something. So a lot of times shrinkage causes wrinkles too, but in this particular kind of case where you're talking high humidity to very low humidity, it could easily cause a crack, especially with those heavy braces in there, because it's got to give somewhere. So that's got to be fixed, or at least stabilized. That's not that big a deal, but it's not going to look wonderful. It's not going to be pretty. It's still going to have a crack there, you know. We could fill it and try to color it, but that just looks worse almost. The fretboard's got some of those same kinds of cracks in it. Again, probably from not being good and dry when it was made. And they're right in here. I don't know if the camera will pick those up or not. They're very small, fine line cracks. So how do you make this louder? That part's, that's an 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. How would you do that? That one's over my head, and I don't even think I'm going to try to attempt it, because that would cause, you know, like if you had to take the back off of this, that would just be a nightmare. I would rather have you, ask me to rebuild the space shuttle than take the back off of this, because that's just, you're about talking an equal task with the way it's made and everything, with all the inlay around the back and everything. See, the back's got inlay too. I just don't want to deal with it, because you don't know what you're going to get into there. That inlay could start popping out. You could just have a nightmare. So I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to take it apart. You know, I don't even really want to consider that. Now, pickups, though, would possibly work. But how do you put pickups in this, you know? You know, like I'm a big fan of the bags pickups. As a matter of fact, I sell those. So the LR bags, I mean, we could put that, you know, one here and one here, but then they're not designed for a double neck guitar. So what do? You got to put two plugs out here, I would assume. One for the 12 string and one for the, so you're going to have two cords going to your amp. I don't know. It's never occurred to me before to consider that possibility. I'd be real open to anybody's ideas on this. Jumping into it too soon might be a big mistake on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this part of the video out first. And I'd like to hear your feedback on this and see what you guys think. If anybody's got any good ideas, I'm welcome to hear them. So I will go ahead and upload this part of the video, and let me play it for you so you can at least hear it now and see what it sounds like. Here we go. That's the 6th string. Not too bad. Now these strings, by the way, are incredibly rusty. I mean, these things are crusty rusty. No question about it. They need to be replaced. Now the B string, I imagine you can hear the buzzing there. The strings are really crazy low up here at the nut, so the 6th string is just not very good on the setup. But the volume, you know, I don't think it's terribly bad. I've got it tuned to full pitch. You know, I was hesitant to do that. I was thinking about tuning it at least a step down. But I've got it tuned to full pitch and everything looks fine. I don't see a problem with tuning this to full pitch, at least not right now. And, you know, I would use at least light strings and probably extra light strings on this. I think would be a good idea. But anyway, I don't really see a real problem with volume on the 6th string there. To me, it sounds okay. I mean, it's a little bit less, perhaps, than a good booming Martin. But let's see here on the 12th string. I don't really see a problem with volume on that either. Maybe they just have a real light touch, but I'm not hitting it that hard. I don't know. Now you just told me that you're leaving on the next train coming down. Well, I love you, dear, but I won't follow. I just think I'll stay around. That don't seem too bad to me. That really don't seem that bad. I think I'm gonna forget the volume thing and just maybe consider the pickups. I think I'll call LR Bags and see if they have a suggestion for doing pickups in this kind of a guitar. You know, I'm sure there's a reason why 99.9% of all these double necks are solid body electric guitars. You know, so to me, the fact that the guy was able to build this and build it where it still plays and has a halfway decent sound, I think the guy must be a genius. You know, I don't know. Well, anyway, the 12th string. A woman in the Bible days, her last meal almost gone. God sent Elijah to make his word known. The only thing I notice is I'm hitting the bottom strings here when I let my hand go down very far, so it's kind of tricky to learn to play it. It's the first time I tried it right there. Yeah, I just coming down like this, my hands hit this, you know, and I don't even think I go that far, but yet, you know, if you let your fingers and stuff will hit down here, so it's a little tricky to play the 12th string part of it. I would imagine you need to have a little softer touch on the 12th string. But I gotta tell you guys, that's the first time I played it right there on camera. I swear to you, I didn't try playing it before. All I did was just check the setup before. And for my money, I think it's pretty good on volume. It's better volume than I expected. I gotta be honest, I thought it was gonna sound kind of like strings on a tin can. It's got fairly decent sound, fairly decent woodiness to it. I don't know how it's coming across on the mic, but it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. I've definitely played a lot worse in just a standard six string. So for my money, I think we're just talking pickups. If you want to put pickups in this and you know, bring out the volume that way, I would suggest it, because I think you could play it nice and soft and have the LR Bags pickups underneath. They fit inside the guitar up underneath where the saddle is, and so they don't even have a wire coming through. And I like them because the saddle is not interrupted at all. You get your natural sound going through the top into the pickup and then out. I got my work cut out for me on this. I'm going to go ahead and post this part of the video. I'm interested just to hear your comments and see what you think. And, you know, if somebody might have a great idea out there, and I'd be welcome to hear it. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of funny comments too. So, knock yourself out. Thanks for watching.